Hi there, welcome back to my channel. This is Medea J, and today's video is going to be another top 5 of my favorite products. This time we're going to be talking about my face primers. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please ensure that you subscribe to my channel. It's good to recap on the products that I've used, not necessarily released in 2021, but these are products that I used in 2021 that I recommend. So without further talking, let's jump right in. All right, a little bit of a disclaimer before I start. These are my top fives. I'm going to rank them from fifth to first place. I love my primers. Like, there are some primers that I'm not gonna mention, but are really good primers. If you've seen me use them in tutorials and review them and told you how much I love them, then please believe that I do love them. But obviously I have a huge collection of primers, so I had to narrow it down to what it is that I'm looking for in my primer, and this cuts across the entire year. So just bear that in mind. I might have a few honorable mentions, you know how I do. But yeah, let's just jump right in. So in fifth place, I've got my Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer. Now I put this in fifth place because I can't use this product all year round. If I want my makeup to be long lasting, this for me is more of a hydrating primer. It isn't. I don't believe that it's marketed as a hydrating primer, but it feels really hydrating on my skin. Now, for reference, I'm oily combination skin, but when I apply this, it applies like a moisturizer. It feels really nourishing on the skin, and my foundation sits quite nicely. It doesn't help with stopping oils from coming through or blurring out my pores or anything, but it does help the foundation to sit nicely and last a little longer. So, but I've also noticed that, so this is an honorable mention. Okay, I've noticed that the MUA Academy Pro Base Mattifying Flawless Primer applies the same way and feels the same way, except that this is more long lasting than the Pat McGrath primer, and I can use this on any foundation, so be it a hydrating foundation, mattifying foundation, anything. So a mattifying foundation is a foundation that gives you a matte finish, no oils, no dewiness. And a hydrating primer, depending on what type of hydrating primer, it could just be that it's very nourishing on the skin. It could also make you dewy. Really depends on the hydrating primer. But this on the hydrating foundation. But this primer pretty much, as it says, it's a mattifying flawless primer. It is flawless, it is mattifying, but it is nourishing on the skin. It applies the same, but I feel like this is a lot longer lasting. So this comes in fifth place. If you can't afford to pick this one up, definitely try this. This is a really good product, and on my dry skin babies as well, you can use this because, as I said, it's quite nourishing, so it isn't going to dry out your skin and make you feel uncomfortable. Plus it's got vitamin E in it as well. I don't know what's in this one at the moment, but yeah, fifth place. So in fourth place, I've got the Huda Beauty Matte Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. Now, this is a newer product to my collection. I only got it during the autumn winter time, but I absolutely love this primer. This primer is mattifying, but again, it applies like a silicone type of primer. So that's kind of what it looks like a silicone primer, but still like creamy and hydrating when you first apply it. But then when you give it a couple of minutes to settle in, it really mattifies the skin. So I would recommend for all your primers to give it a couple of minutes to really set and settle into your skin before you apply your foundation. That is how you're going to get the best out of your primer. You can't rush the application process. If you're in a hurry, get a hand fan and really fan it down. But this guy really helps my makeup to last a really long time. Helps to keep the oils at bay for at least 7-8 hours, which is amount of time that's the minimum amount of time I wear my makeup for. So I normally get my makeup done around 9, and then I don't take it off till around 6. So that's quite a long time, and this primer does the job. Now, I've worn this out in the elements and this lasts really well, including actually all these primers. I've worn them out in the elements and they perform just as well. This is an oil-free mattifying primer. So again, it's going to help reduce oils from coming through. It doesn't have any oils in it, so it's not gonna encourage your face to look oily really quickly. It is going to last you a long time. Now, if you've got dry skin, I wouldn't recommend that you use this. And even for my combination to oily skin babies, please definitely use it in the areas that you get oiliest the most, and then sparsely use it in areas that you're quite dry, because this guy will really dry out those areas even more. So this comes in fourth place. So in third place, I've got the Makeup Revolution Liquid Powder Pore Blurring Makeup Serum. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I use this primer quite a lot in a lot of my tutorials, especially during the summertime. And because it is a mattifying primer, this primer is gonna mattify you. Please give it few minutes to dry and you're going to love it. Not only is it gonna mattify you, but it's also gonna blur out your pores. It's gonna give you a nice silky, a really smooth canvas for you to work on, and it's so inexpensive. I think Makeup Revolution did a banging job with this primer. It feels really good on my skin and it really does blur out my pores. So this definitely has to come in third place because it is a fantastic primer. The only thing I would have wished was that it wasn't like a dropper, because honestly 9 out of 10 times I'm always struggling with the dropper. um yeah, and also please give it a shake before you use it, because a lot of the particles settles beneath. So definitely shake it up to get everything working before you use it as your primer. But honestly, this is really good. Like, Revolution did something here. Amazing primer. In second place, and this was really difficult for me, but in second place, I've got my Tarte Smoothing Primer. Now, again, if you've been following me, you know that I absolutely love this primer. This is the Timeless Smoothing Primer. Now, I love it because it does one major thing, which is to blur out my pores. So when I use it on my cheek area where I've got a lot of texture, around my mouth area, it looks silky smooth, literally fills in my pores. The only thing that it doesn't do is mattify. Not no, it does mattify my face, but it doesn't keep my foundation on for longer. I feel like the main aspect of this is to smooth out your pores and to give you a really clean base. But in terms of prolonging the longevity of my foundation, it doesn't really do that. And I'm not mad at it because I don't think that's what it's for. But for actually smoothing out your pores, this is number one. However, if you can't afford to get this one, I recommend the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I have a review of this primer up on my channel. Definitely check it out. I love this primer. It performs like the Tarte one, and I actually think that it's just as good. The only difference is that the e.l.f. one takes a little longer to dry than the Tarte one. Again, give it a couple of minutes to dry so that you've got a good base to start working on, but generally this is such a good pore blurring primer. So yeah, definitely check these two out. As I said, I use this in quite a lot of my videos and I've always talked about it in my Shop My Stash videos, but check out the review of the e.l.f. one. So these definitely have to come in second place. And in first place, I've got the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This is a blurring silicone-free primer as well. Definitely you can see why it comes in first. It is pore blurring, it's a silicone primer, it's a mattifying primer. It works well with all my foundations. I'm talking about my mattifying foundations, my hydrating foundations, my dewy foundations. It works 100% well with them. Another thing I really like about this range is Laura Mercier has other primers like this that are for different purposes, but this is the one that I feel works really well for my oily combination skin. And as I said, it works really well across all my foundations. I've used this in so many videos. I have a review of this on my channel using other Laura Mercier products, but this definitely shines above the rest. So yeah, this is my number one primer for 2021. How mad is that? But I do want to talk about one honorable mention. This isn't a 2021 type of primer. This is more like my 2020 favorite, and this is my Revolution Pro Hydra Matte Primer. Now, if you go back through my videos, there was a time when I was using this throughout, and it's because it plays ball with other foundations as well. It's hydrating, but it's also mattifying, and so it helps with longevity of my foundation, but also keeps my skin feeling hydrated, feeling airy, feeling fresh. That's why I love it. It applies like a moisturizer, but it just feels really, really good, really mattifying. And this is what I'm using today. So as you can see, I'm sitting underneath really, really hot lights. The heater's on as well. And oil wear like literally works so well with my foundation. So yeah, this is definitely an honorable mention, very affordable as well, but it isn't a primer I reached for that much this year, so I just wanted to throw that in so that you guys know. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed my top 5 primers for 2021. I'd like to know what primers you use this year and the ones that you recommend, so please comment down below so that I can check them out. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can go one step further by sharing the video with your friends and family. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Like majority of you that watch me are not subscribed, and I'm wondering why. Please go ahead and check out my channel. If you see what you like, please go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you know when next I release a video. And that's it. Remember, God doesn't like ugly. Be nice to someone today, and Black lives always matter. And I'll catch you in a future video. Bye.